The house was too quiet. Donald pushed open the heavy double doors of his Port Harcourt mansion, briefcase in hand. Normally the air was alive with sound, his wife's heels across the marble, the hum of staff, the faint smell of dinner wafting from the kitchen. Tonight, silence pressed against him like a weight. He stepped into the dining room, and froze. The mahogany table was no longer set for dinner. Instead, it was littered with photographs. Dozens of them. Him and Natalie in places they thought were safe. Lagos hotel lobbies. A candlelit dinner in Dubai. A London airport lounge. Every secret moment, now pinned under the chandelier's glare. Across the photographs, scrawled in red lipstick, "I am Donald's baby mama. I thought you should know, I'm expecting his child. There are 3 of us in this marriage." Donald's hand trembled as he opened the envelope lying beside them. Inside, a sonogram photo. Donald's world tilted. The game was just about to start. The reality of his infidelity was about to hit him. 2 women. One world, a world that was about to implode. And there will be no place for them to hide. There will be serious, and unimaginable consequences. 2 weeks earlier, it has been a different world. A world full of secrecy, passion, love, money, power and influence. Natalie swept into the American bank headquarters, as usual, in Port Harcourt like she owned the place. Her heels clicked against the polished floors, her well-tailored suit hugged her curves nicely, in quiet defiance of corporate modesty. Heads turned the moment she walked in. Her look was her power, her magnet for men of status, and influence over them, regardless of their marital status. People turned to look at her, some with admiration, most with envy, jealousy and hatred. Regardless, she absolutely, truly enjoyed the ritual of how people serenade her stunning appearance. And then the whispers began. Not quiet whispers. The kind that came with side eyes, chuckles hidden behind manicured fingers, and exaggerated body movements designed to draw attention. One woman rolled her eyes so hard her colleague smirked. Another coughed into her palm as Natalie passed, loud enough for half the floor to hear. A man scratched the back of his head deliberately. "Here she comes, Madam Fashion Catwalk," another laughed. "I wonder how she got the top role, in the first place," she said, then continued. "She must have a powerful godfathers," another muttered. "We all know how she climbed the ladder," another shot back, lips curled. "She must have done plenty all-nighters with all her godfathers," came another, voice dripping with mockery. Laughter rippled across the desks. One woman, balancing her pen against her notepad, shook her head. "I beg, you people talk too much. We all know how these things work. I beg, tell me, which one of us got this job without connection?" she asked. But loud enough for Natalie to hear. Natalie's lips curved into the faintest smile. Not warmth. A warning. She didn't slow her stride. Let them talk. She was used to it. They didn't know the hunger that had carried her this far. They didn't know Donald. Her phone vibrated. She glanced at the message on the screen, smiling. The message read, "Dinner for 9 p.m. tonight. Darling. Love you always. Kiss, kiss, kiss. Donald." A thrill ran through her, equal parts desire and calculation. Donald was a man used to being obeyed. At the airline boardroom, he commanded the room, with the ease of someone who had built empires with his bare hands. Men deferred to him, women admired him, rivals feared him. But as he scrolled through his phone after the meeting, staring at a photo of Natalie, his lips curved into a smile no one at the table had ever seen. She was the only one who made him feel young again. Their affair was a secret, kept secret. So they thought. Text messages erased, as soon as they delivered, and read. They kept it, because of the implications it would have on Donald's reputation, in the social, political, business and religious world. He remains a well-respected figure in the church. Despite his busy schedule, he was an ordained elder, and a role model for married men in his church. Men looked up to him. And women respected him, because he promoted ideals for marriage. Then their laughter filled the suite of the presidential hotel that night. Champagne fizzed between them, city lights glittering through the glass walls. "You always make me forget all the stress in the world," Donald said, brushing a curl from her face. Natalie's eyes lingered on him, soft but calculating. "Then maybe the world doesn't deserve you tonight." She kissed him, long and slow. And when he drifted into sleep hours later, his phone unlocked on the bedside, Natalie's eyes flickered toward it. She hesitated, then turned away. Quietly saying to herself, "Not yet. Not now." In the shadows of secrecy, and web of intimacy and love, the affair burned bright and reckless, with trips to Dubai disguised as business meetings, whispered calls at midnight, hand-holding in corners of airports, where they thought no one could see them. Unknown to them, they left evidence everywhere, just like the carbon footprints of their love life. But cracks were forming. Natalie noticed the black SUV, parked outside her apartment, for 3 nights in a row. The driver never got out. She wondered why they were there. Donald's wife, Ebiere, received an envelope at home. Inside were blurred photos of her husband, with another woman. She said nothing, just hid the envelope in a drawer, and closed it softly, her eyes burning. And at the bank, Natalie's rival, Chioma, leaned back in her chair, scrolling through her phone with a smirk. "Let's see how far your wings carry you, little bird," she murmured. That night, Natalie came home to find a note slipped under her door. "He's not who you think he is." Her stomach dropped. Then came the breaking point. 2 weeks later, everything unraveled. A newspaper headline screamed from the kiosks, "Top banker linked to airline CEO in scandal." At the bank, HR called her in, "We need to talk. Urgently." At the airline, Donald's board demanded answers. "Your personal life is threatening this company's reputation." At home, Natalie sat on the bathroom floor, staring at the pregnancy test in her hand. Positive. Tears blurred her vision. Then she whispered to herself, steady, cold, "Not this time. I thought we had everything figured out." For Natalie, this was just the beginning. Back to the present. Donald's breath came shallow, as he stared at the sonogram photo, in his hand, the lipstick words glaring up at him, "We are 3 in this marriage." His phone buzzed. A message. No name, no number. Just an image. The same sonogram. Donald's knees gave way, and for the first time in his life, the man who owned empires felt utterly powerless. The sonogram photo wouldn't leave Donald's hands. It lay on his desk now, under the glow of his study lamp, mocking him. He had built airlines, haulage empires, political connections across continents. He was a man who could silence journalists, bankrupt rivals, and summon ministers with a call. But this? This he couldn't control. Who sent it? Was it Natalie? His wife? Or someone else entirely? The mansion was still silent. Ebiere's clothes were gone. Her phone was switched off. No one had seen her leave. For the first time in decades, Donald felt fear. The fear of what his wife would do. The fear of the unknown. 2 days before the sonogram appeared, chaos erupted in the oil city of Port Harcourt, Nigeria. Natalie walked into the bank that morning, dressed as flawlessly as ever, but her colleagues stared at her differently, whispering, smirking. She didn't understand until she saw the kiosk headline screaming back at her. Top banker in secret affair with airline CEO. Her legs wobbled. She bought 3 copies of the paper, her hands shaking as she flipped through the photos, her and Donald at the presidential hotel lobby, at Dubai Marina, laughing at a dinner table. Her office door slammed behind her. HR called her name like a summons to execution. She feared the worst. Her reputation. Her ego, all that she worked for over the years. At the airline's Lagos headquarters, the board sat in a half-circle, their faces grim. "This scandal is not just gossip, Mr. Donald," one director barked. "Investors are calling every hour. Your personal choices are sinking this company's reputation." Donald's jaw tightened. "My personal life is not your concern. Airlines run on fuel and logistics, not gossip. Airlines run on trust," another shot back. "And right now, no one trusts you." For the first time, Donald saw doubt in the eyes of his loyal men. That night, Natalie sat on the floor, clutching the positive test. Her eyes were swollen from crying. Then her phone rang. Donald's name flashed across the screen. She ignored it. It rang again. Still she ignored it. When it rang the third time, she switched the phone off entirely. She opened a drawer, pulled out a blank envelope, and slid the sonogram photo inside. In neat handwriting, she wrote, "Donald." She dialed a number. "It's time," she said softly. "Release everything. I mean everything." The next morning, Natalie's neighbor knocked on her door. No answer. By evening, the door was ajar, the lights off. Inside, the apartment was stripped of warmth, no clothes, no photos, nothing but silence. On the kitchen counter, a single item, her phone, screen shattered. Meanwhile, on the other side of Port Harcourt City, Donald sat alone in his mansion, clutching the sonogram photo. His wife gone, his mistress vanished. Then his phone buzzed. A new message. No words. Just a short video clip. Natalie's voice, whispering, "If you want the truth, you'll find me." The screen went black. Donald's breath caught. Truth? What truth? The room spun. Her breath came shallow. She blinked hard, but the truth stared back. This wasn't a nightmare. This was her reality. Her laugh broke the silence, short and bitter. "Not this time," she whispered. It didn't sound like hope. It sounded like war. Her phone buzzed, on the counter. She jumped, water splashing. Reaching for it with dripping fingers, she froze at the screen. Unknown number. She wondered who the caller was. Number withheld. She hesitated, long enough for the caller to end the call. But then she swiped. A text came through. Natalie squinted, and panicked as she read. The text message read, "This is just the beginning of your nightmare. You're not the only one." Natalie's heart stuttered. Another buzz. A photo followed, blurry, grainy, but unmistakable. Her and Donald, hand in hand at a dinner table in Dubai. The photo had been taken from across the room. She gasped, the phone slipping into the bath. Sparks hissed, water rippled. She didn't move. Couldn't. Then, a sound. Then the footsteps. She felt it, she knew it, but before you could act. The door opened. It was too late. At the faintest creak of the door hinge, Natalie's head snapped up. Two shadows filled her bedroom doorway. Broad. Silent. Faces hidden behind black balaclavas. Their presence sucked the air from the room. Natalie's scream tore out, but one lunged, gloved hand clamping her mouth. She thrashed, the pregnancy stick clattering against porcelain. The second man gestured sharply, "Get dressed. Or I will help you get dressed," he said firmly, and unfriendly. Her body shook as she scrambled from the tub, water dripping onto marble tiles. She slipped into a silk robe, fumbling with the tie. No words were spoken. None were needed. Their silence was a language of fear. Within minutes, Natalie was gone, swallowed by the night, her apartment door left ajar, the bathwater still rippling from the struggle. To be continued in Part 2.